Generally speaking, dams tend to impact rivers in many ways. When the Three Gorges Dam was built, around 1.5 million people lost their homes and livelihoods. Dams come in a variety of types, and each type is designed for specific conditions and technical requirements. The Columbia River and its tributaries hold the record for the most dams at 60. This naturally leads to an intriguing question. How many dams can be built on a river anyway? 100? 1,000? Is there a theoretical limit? The answer is not as clear as you might think. Any limit on the number of dams that can be built on a river will depend on the type and purpose of the dam. Dams can be built for a variety of reasons, such as hydroelectricity production, water storage, flood control, navigation, and recreation. But actually building the dam is only a part of the story. They can't just be built randomly. For example, you can't build a dam on a flat floodplain unless you want it to be practically useless. When engineers choose sites for dams, they tend to keep an eye on the following criteria: the topography and inflow of the catchment area, morphology of river valleys, the underlying geology and geotechnical conditions of a potential site, local climate and flood regime, any existing historical or ecological areas that may be drowned by the dam's reservoir. In an ideal world, the site chosen will have enough inflow of water to maintain a reservoir all year around. It will also be located in a narrow site where a river valley widens upstream of the dam. The underlying geology will be impermeable, strong, thick, and not dip towards the downstream of the dam. There should be limited or no jointing and faulting in order to prevent water leaking from the dam's reservoir over time. It is possible to grout foundation geology to fill any holes, but this just adds to the construction cost. A proposed dam will also not destroy any nature reserves, towns, or places of historical, cultural, or ecological importance. These issues will also determine the type of dam to be built. Dams come in a variety of types, and each type is designed for specific conditions and technical requirements. For example, a hydroelectric dam will typically require a 39 to 49 feet drop from the reservoir to the water level at the point of discharge. Technical requirements like this will restrict the location and the number of this type of dam that can be built on a river. Another major restriction on the number of dams is money. Dams are significant constructions that cost a lot of money, materials, and work hours to design and erect. It is almost impossible to generalize the amount needed to build a dam, as it can vary hugely depending on the location, type, and size of the dam. According to some sources, a modest 25 kilowatt hydroelectric dam would cost around $230,000. A larger 500 kilowatt dam would be somewhere in the region of $2 million. Dams are also costly to the environment since they can seriously affect the health of a river. Generally speaking, dams tend to impact rivers in many ways. The first is the fact that dams block river flow. This prevents fish migration for spawning, accessing feeding grounds, and escaping predators. Fish tend to form a key part of a river ecosystem, and any impact on their population can have a much wider impact on other animals. Dams also slow down rivers. Many aquatic organisms depend on steady water flows to survive. Any stagnation in water movement from reduced flow rates can disorient organisms and destroy the natural growth and reproduction cycles of both plants and animals. The slowing down of water flow can also impact the water quality and create water temperature fluctuations that local organisms are not adapted to cope with. Oxygen levels can also drop, leading to serious ecological problems like algae blooms. There can be a heavy toll on humans too. When the Three Gorges Dam was built, around 1.5 million people lost their homes and livelihoods. 1,500 cities, towns, and villages were destroyed, and countless rare architectural and archaeological sites and areas of natural beauty were lost. Dams on the Mekong and Nile turned the areas downstream into deserts, destroying people's livelihoods along with the environment. All of these issues affect the type, size, and location of dams on a river. So how many dams can be built on a river? It all depends.